Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video we are going to learn about the operators and expressions in the C language. So operators are the main part of any programming language, and C language also provides a rich set of operators to process various types of data items. So here we are going to know about what is the purpose of the operators and how to use the operators. Okay. So first of all, coming to the operators, the C operator is defined as a symbol that is used to perform the operations on the variables. Okay, so how we are going to perform the operations on the variables? So by suppose I want to perform the sum on the two variables, right? So here that is a plus b. So sum on two variables. So here the plus acts as the operator and a and b are the variables, and we can call these variables as operands. So a and b are the operands because we are going to apply the addition operation on the two variables. That's why the a and b will become the operands. Okay, so let us suppose the a value is 5 and b value is 2. Okay, so these are the two operands, and sum operation is performed on these two operands. So the result will be 7. Right. So here answer is 7. So here plus will act as the operator, that is the arithmetic operator. Okay. So C language is having different types of operators like arithmetic operators, relational operators, shift operators, logical operators, bitwise operators, ternary or conditional operators, assignment operators, and special operators. Okay. So in general there are two types of operators. So first one is the unary operator and binary operator. Okay, so first one is the unary and binary operator. So this is the generally these are the two types of operators. Okay, so unary, the name itself denotes that it operates on a single operand. So it works on a single operand. So suppose take an example like x is equal to minus 10. Okay, so here minus 10 is the unary operator. So it is denoting the negated value of the value 10. Okay, or it is a complement of the 10. Okay, so this is the minus 10 is the unary operator here. So here the minus is the unary operator. So coming to the binary operator, okay, so here equals to is the binary operator because it is placed between the x and minus 10. So hence it is going to operate on two operands, right? So unary operator means it is going to work on a single operand, whereas the binary operator is going to work on the two operands, right? That is x and minus 10. So here equals to will act as a binary operator. Okay, so these are general general operators we are using. So this we are going to apply in the remaining operators, the wide range of operators. So first one is the arithmetic operator. So in arithmetic operators, so we can perform the mathematical calculations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and modulus. Okay, so these are the different operations performed using the arithmetic operators. Okay, so here, so I'm taking the two operands here, that is 10 plus 2. So 10 plus 2 is 12. So here the plus is the addition operator we are using between the two operands, that is 10 and 2. Okay, so similarly for subtraction, 10 minus 2. So 10 minus 2 means it will give to answer 8. Okay, here minus is the operator and 10 and 2 are the operands. And multiplication, so 10 into 2. So here we are going to use the asterisk symbol. 10 into 2, that is 20. So here, so it is performing the multiplication operation, okay, on two operands 10 and 2, and it is giving the product 20. Okay, next one is division. Okay, so 10 by 2. So 10 divided by 2. So it gives the quotient of the given statement. So 10 by 2 is 5, right? Whereas the modulus, so modulus will give the remainder of the given statement. So 10% 2, so 10 modulus 2 means, so it is going to give the answer 0, because so when after dividing the 10 by 2 we are getting the 0 as a remainder, right? So division will give the quotient of the division operation, and modulus will give the remainder of the division operation. Okay, if suppose both the operands are integers, then the result also will be in the integer format. For the division, if both the operands are the integers, then the result will also be in the format of integer. So if any one of the operand is a floating point, if is float, then the result will be float only. Okay, so here I am taking a value 13 by 4.0. So the answer will be 3.25. So it is a integer, sorry, it is a floating point result, right? So here if any one of the operand is real, then the result will be real. Okay, so here since the value is given as 4.0, okay, so that's why the result is in the floating point value. So next one is logical operators. So here we are having the three types of logical operators: and, or, and not. Okay, so these operators are used to compute the to compare the value of two variables. Okay, so logical and, logical or, and logical not. So here the logical and will return true when both the conditions are true. Okay, so here we are going to compare the two conditions here. So I am taking the condition x and condition y. Okay, so here the condition x is whether the 2 is greater than 3 or not, and condition y is 3 is less than 4. So this is the condition y. So we are going to apply the logical AND operator for this given two conditions. Okay, so for the logical operators we are going to perform the, so we are going to compare the value of two variables. Okay, so in the logical AND it returns the true value when both the conditions are true. Okay, so 2 is greater than 3, so which is false, and 3 is less than 4, which is true. Okay, so in the case of the logical AND operation, if the both the values are, both the conditions are true, then only it will return true, or else it will return false. Here the one of the condition is false, that's why it will return false here for the logical AND operation. And coming to the logical OR operation, here at least one of the condition must be true, then the result will be true. Okay, so here, so 2 greater than 3 is, which is false, and 3 less than 4 is true. So here at least one of the condition must be true for the logical OR operation. So here it is satisfying the condition, and so the answer will be true, because so one condition is true. And logical NOT operation. Okay, so 2 is greater than 1, right? So 2 is greater than 1, which is true, right? So here for the logical NOT we are going to apply the negation operation. So negation operation on the 2 greater than 1. Okay, so 2 is greater than 1, which is true, and after applying the negation operation it will be, okay, so here the logical NOT simply reverses the state of the operand. Okay, so here the state of the operand is given as true, and after applying the logical NOT it will become false. So this is about the different types of logical operators. So next one is relational operators. Okay, so relational operators are used to compare the two variables here. Okay, so we are going to use it to find the relation between two variables. So the result of a relational operation is always true or false. So generally they are used to compare two values here. Two values are two variables. Okay, so we are going to take the first one, operator greater than. Okay, so you know the less than, greater than or equals to, less than or equals to, and double equals to, and not equals to. Okay, so these are the different types of relational operations. Okay, so here greater than means 3 is greater than 2. Okay, which is true, and here 3 is less than 2 means it is false. Okay, and 3 is greater than or equals to 2, that means so 3 is greater than or equals to 2, so which is true, right? So it is greater than or equals to. Suppose I'm taking the 3 is greater than or equals to 3, so which will be true, right? 3 is equals to 3, right? So it may be greater or equals to 3. Okay, so similarly for less than or equals to also the same condition, so the answer will be true only, less than or equals to 3. So here 3 is equals to 3, that's why the answer will be true. And for double equals to, okay, for the double equals to sign, it should be used to compare two values. We should not use the single equal sign here. Okay, so the difference between the double equals to and equals to sign is, so we are going to use the equals to sign to assign the some value to a variable. Suppose x equals to 5, that means it is going to assign the value 5, which is a constant value, which will be assigned to a variable x. So after assigning this, the 5 will be stored at the memory location with the name x. Okay, and coming to the double equals to, so double equals to is used to compare two values, whether the values are equal or not. Okay, suppose I'm taking the, so 20 is equals to 21, so which is false, because we are going to compare the two values 20 and 21, so which is false. And suppose I'm taking 20 is double equals to 20, then answer will be true. Okay, so now last one is the not equals to. Okay, suppose I'm taking 20 not equals to 21, right? So 20 not equals to 21 is true, right? 20 is not equals to 21, so which is true. Okay, so this is about the relational operators. And coming to the assignment operators. So in the C programming language, values for the variables are assigned using the assignment operators. Okay, so here the given the variable name and the expression. Okay, suppose I'm going to store the x equals to 5, that means the value 5 is assigned to the location, to the variable location x. Okay, so when this assignment is done, the value 5 is assigned to a memory location with the variable name x. Okay, so here the constant value 5 is assigned to the variable x. Okay, so similarly here, so we are having the multiple assignment, that is variable 1 is equals to variable 2 is equals to variable 3 is equals to value. So how we are going to assign this one? So I'm taking an example like x equals to y equals to z equals to some value, that is 5. Okay, so then the detailed assignment will be like this. So x equals to y and y equals to z and z equals to 5. So this is how the actual meaning of this statement. So this is about the multiple assignment. Okay, so x equals to y, y equals to z, and z equals to 5. So that actually means that x equals to y, and then y equals to z, and z equals to 5. So which means that, so all the variable names will, all the variable values will be 5 here. Okay, so next one is the compound assignment. So in the assignment operators only, there is a single assignment, multiple assignment, and compound assignment. So compound assignment operators are formed with the syntax operator equals to, where operator may be any one of the arithmetic or bitwise operators. Okay, so here in the compound assignment, so I am taking the value a plus equals to b. So that means, so a equals to a plus b. So this is the compound assignment operator. So here the syntax will be operator equals to. So what is operator here? Plus, right? So operator equals to. Okay. So similarly, we can take the arithmetic operator or bitwise operators here. So I can take the multiplication equals to, division equals to, or minus equals to, like that. So modulo equals to. So we can take the arithmetic operators or any bitwise operators. So bitwise operators are, so we are having the bitwise operators like and equals to, not, or equals to, not equals to. So these are the bitwise operators. So we can, for the compound assignment operators, we can use any of the arithmetic or bitwise operators. Okay, and the meaning of this operators will be, it will start with the operator like a equals to a into b. Okay, so which means that a into equals to b. Okay, so the syntax will be in the format of operator and equals to. Okay, so next one is the increment and decrement operators. So the increment and decrement operators, so we are going to use these operators to increase the value of the variable by 1 and to decrease the value of the variable by 1. Okay, so in the C program, the increment and decrement, the increment operators is again divided into two parts, that is a pre-increment and post-increment. And similarly, the decrement operator is divided into two parts, that is a pre-decrement and post-decrement. Okay, so in the case of the increment operator, we are going to increase the value by the variable value by 1. Okay, and coming to the, first of all, coming to the pre-increment. In the increment operators, first coming to the pre-increment. So here it is going to first increment the value and then substitute its value in the expression. Suppose I am taking the I value here as I value as 2. So here x is equals to pre-increment I. That means first of all it is going to increment the value of by 1. So remember one thing here, for both the increment and decrement operators, we are going to increase or decrease the value by 1 only. Okay, so we are going to, first of all, so here the x equals to plus I. That means, so first of all, so coming from left to right here, so first of all we have to increment the operator and then assign it to the x. Okay, so first of all increment the operator here. Okay, so incrementing the operator is 2 plus 1 is 3. Okay, and then assign the value to the x. So now x equals to 3 here, right? And similarly for the x equals to I plus plus. So for the value x equals to I plus plus, we are going to first of all assign the value I to the x, and after that one we are going to increment the value, that is the post increment. So pre-increment means, so the name itself denotes that we are first of all incrementing the value and then assigning it to the variable. So here the post increment, we are going to first of all assign the value here to the x and then we are performing the increment operation on the variable I. So here x equals to, so I value is 2. So we are going to take the value as it is, because, so first of all we are going to assign the value to the x and then increment it. So next one is a pre-decrement and post-decrement operations. So in the pre-decrement operator, so first decrement the value and then substitute its value in the expression. So whereas in the post-decrement, first of all substitute the value of the variable in the expression and then decrement the variable by 1. Okay, so here this is the syntax. So x equals to minus I. So first of all, I'm going to take the I value as 2 here, right? So x equals to minus minus I. Okay, that means we are going to first of all decrement the I value by 1. So then the answer will be 1. And then assign the value to the x. So x will become 1 for the pre-decrement operation. Okay, so x will be 1 here. And for the post decrement operation, so here given that x equals to I minus minus, that means we are going to first of all assign the I value to the x and then decrement it. So first of all assign the I value, that is 2, to the x. So the answer will be 2. So these are the different values of the after applying the pre-increment, post-increment and pre-decrement and post-decrement operations. Okay. So here let us see it with a sample program of C. Okay. So given that, so first of all we are going to denote the header files here, that is stdio.h, co.nio.h. So here stdio.h header file is included for the input output. Okay. So here we are first of all we are defining the variables a, b, c, d, and then so we are going to assign the variables here, that is x equals to 10, y equals to 10, p equals to 10 and q equals to 10. So we are going to first of all define the a, b, c, d, x, y, p and q values and assigning it the some values here. So here a equals to x plus plus, that means, so what is the a value? So a equals to x plus plus, that means post increment. So in the post increment, first of all we are going to assign the value here, assign the value to the variable and then we are going to increment. So a equals to, so x value is 10, so it will become 10. Okay. So next b equals to plus plus y, that means pre-increment y. So what is the y value here? It is 10. So we are going to perform the pre-increment. So first of all apply the increment operation on the y value and then assign it to the b. So it will become b equals to 11. Okay. And then so printf value of c. So here the c value is minus minus p, that is the pre-increment p. So in the pre-increment p, so we are going to pre-increment the value of p, that means pre-decrement the value of p, right? So we are going to perform the decrement operation on the p and then assign it to the c. So it will become 9. Okay. And then d equals to q minus minus, that means so we are going to first assign the value q to the d, that is 10, and then after that one we are going to perform the decrement operation. So this is the values here, a equals to 10, b equals to 11, c equals to 9 and d equals to 10. So which will be printed in the given statements here, a, b, c and d. Okay. So this is about the simple program on the increment and decrement operators. So next one is the bitwise operators in C. So these operators are used to perform bit operations. So we are going to use this for bit operations. So decimal values here are converted to binary values which are in the sequence of bits, and bitwise operators work on these bits. So various bitwise operators in C language are so bitwise AND, bitwise OR, bitwise NOT, XOR, left shift and right shift. So here for the bitwise AND operation, it is going to give the 1 if both the bits are 1. Okay. Otherwise it will give 0. Okay. So we have seen this in the logical operations, right? So in the logical operations we are going to apply it for the two conditions, right? For the two statements we are going to apply it. But here we are going to apply the bitwise AND only for the binary bits. Okay. So we are going to convert the decimal values to binary bits and then we are going to apply the bitwise operators here. Okay. So here the condition will be same for both the things, but here we are going to applying it only on the binary values, not on the conditions. Okay. So here in the AND operation it is going to give the 1 if both the bits are 1, otherwise it is going to give 0. And for the bitwise OR it is going to give 1 if any one of the bit is 1, otherwise it will give 0. Okay, and here for the bitwise NOT it is going to convert the 1 to 0 and 0 to 1. That means it is going to perform the reverse operation here. And for the bitwise XOR, so it is going to give the 0 if both the values are same. So otherwise it is going to give the answer as 1. Okay, so first of all let us see the this with a simple example. Okay, so I am taking the decimal value 2. Okay, so here the decimal value 2, so if it is converted to binary value then it will become 0 1 0. Okay, so here, and I'm going to perform this, I'm going to take another value, that is 1. So the binary value of the 1 is 0 0 1. Okay, so here we are going to perform the bitwise AND here. First of all, for the AND operation, how it will be. So for the AND operation it will give 1 if both the bits are 1, but here both the bits are not 1, that's why the answer will be 0 0 0. Right, if the both bits are 1 only, it will give the answer 0. And for the OR operation, so we are going to check here. So it gives the 1 if at least one of the bit is 1. So here the 0 1, so here one bit is there, so answer will be 1. And here also one bit is there, so here we are going to get the answer as 1. So here both the bits are 0, so answer will be 0 for the OR operation. And for the NOT operation, NOT operation is applied only for a one binary value. Okay, so if you take the negation of 2, then the answer will be 1 0 1. Right, so it will reverse the binary bit values here simply. And XOR, so for the XOR operation it is going to give the value 0 if both the bits are same, otherwise it will give it as 1. Okay, so here if the values are same it will give 0. So here it is different, right? 0 and 1, and here also 1 and 0 different, right? Answer will be 1. And here the bits are same, so it will be 0. So for the XOR operation. Okay, so next one is the left shift and right shift operators. Okay, so for the left shift operator, it is a binary operator in the format of x less than n. So in this format it will be, that means left shift n value. Okay, so here the n denotes the number of bits that we want to shift. Okay, that we want to shift here. Okay, so it is going to remove the n right bits and pad the n zeros to the left of the number. So one time left shift doubles the value. Okay, and similarly here x greater than x right shift n, that means it is going to shift the n number of bits. Okay, so it is going to shift n times right, that is it is going to remove the n left bits and pad the n zeros to the right of the number. So one time right shift it will half the value. So let us see this left shift and right shift with a simple example here. Okay, so here I am taking the left shift value x with 1. Okay, and the binary value here is 0 0 1 0 1 000. So this is the 8-bit binary value I am taking. So here where we want to shift n bits. Okay, so we want to shift n bits to the left. Okay, so here I am going to take here we are going to shift the n bits to the left. So here we want to shift 1 bit to the left side, and we are going to remove the right side bits, and we are going to pad it with the zeros. Okay, So here the answer will be 0 1 0 1 double 0 double 0. Okay, so here we are going to remove the left side bit. Okay, the leftmost bit, one bit, and we are going to remove the leftmost one bit. Okay, and similarly we are going to pad the right side of the bit with zeros. Okay, so if you remove the leftmost bit, then there will be 7 bits only, right? So to fill the empty space, we are going to pad the rightmost bit with 0. Okay, then the answer will be this one. And similarly, if you are going to apply the right shift also, for the right shift we are going to remove the rightmost bit here, that is 0. Okay, so if we are going to apply the right shift operation here, then the answer will be like this. Okay, so 0001 0001 01 0 0. So for the right shift we want to shift the one rightmost bit here, that is 0. So we are going to shift this one, and in the left side, in the leftmost side, we are going to pad it with 0. So answer will be 0. So here 0 0 1 0 1 0 0. So this is the answer. So in the left shift operation, x left shift 1 means one bit will be shifted left by one place. If we are using it as 2, that is, suppose I am using the right shift here as x2. Okay, then it means that the bits will be left shifted by 2 places. Okay. Is condition true or false? Okay. So here the syntax is condition with the true or false. So conditional operators return one value if condition is true, and it is going to return another value if the condition is false. So this operator is also called as a ternary operator. So this is equals to if-else conditional statement. So which will be discussed in the upcoming videos. So here let us take an example here. So here in the x variable, so if the a is greater than 10, then assign the value 0. Then the result will be 0, or else the result will be 1. Okay, so here it will be similar to this. If a is greater than 10, then the value is 0, else the value is 1. Okay, so this is the meaning of the given statement. Okay, and coming to the special operators, that is the size of operator, type conversion, dot operator, comma operator, asterisk operator, and AND operator. So size of operator is used to know the size in bytes occupied by a variable in the computer memory. So it is a unary operator which is used in finding the size of the data type, constant, array structures, etc. So here this is the syntax of the size of operator, that is the size of variable name. And type conversion. So type conversion are of two types, that is implicit type conversion and explicit type conversion. So in the implicit type conversion, okay, so here we are having the two types of type conversion, that is implicit and explicit. Okay, so in the case of the implicit type conversion, so it is going to it is performed by the compiler when necessary without any commands by the user. So that's why it is called as the automatic type conversion. Okay, so let us say, so for the implicit type conversion, int a equals to 20, and so float b equals to 20.5. So if we are going to perform the sum of these two operators, then so if these two operands are calculated a plus b, then the answer will be in the floating point only. So the answer is 40.5, right? So it will be automatically converted to floating point by the compiler itself. That is called as the implicit type conversion. So whereas the explicit type conversion, so here it is a user defined type conversion. So if a user wants to convert the given data type into a particular particular data type, So based on the compatibility, then it is going to convert the one type of data type to another. Okay, so in this explicit type conversion, the use of the compiler for converting one data type to another, instead of the user explicitly defines within the program the data type of the operands in the expression. Okay, so that is the expression given here, type of expression. So if I want to convert the expression into float, okay, so if I want to convert the given expression into float, then I can give the float of x by y. Then it is going to automatically convert the given values into float value. Suppose I am taking the x value as x and y values as int, with x value as 4 and y value as 2. So if the answer will be 2, right, if you are going to perform it in the integer format. And here I am going to convert the int to float. So then the answer will be, for this one, the answer will be 2.0, which is the floating value. So here we are converting the given expression into floating point. Okay, so this is the user defined thing. Okay, and comma operator. So comma operator is to separate the different elements, different elements in variable, declarations and loops. Okay, so this is in the format of variable comma variable. And asterisk operator. So asterisk operator is the point, it will act as a pointer operator and use it to declare and process the pointers. Okay, so it will be in this format: pointer star asterisk p. So it will point to the, so here the p will act as the pointer and asterisk is a pointer operator. Okay, and the last one is the AND operator. So it is the address operator. It is used to get the address of a variable. Okay, and b means it is going to denote the address of the variable b. Okay, so whereas the asterisk denotes the value at the p. So this is about the different types of the. Okay, so here we have seen about the operators here. So what about the expressions? So expressions is nothing but a statement, or if there is a formula, then it is called as a expression. So an expression in C is defined as a formula constructed by using the identifiers, operands, variables, constants, literals, etc. So if an expression contains only arithmetic operators and identifiers, then it is called as a arithmetic expression. Similarly, if an expression contains only relational operators, then it is called as a relation expression. So I am taking the operator here, arithmetic operator. So here I am taking an operator a plus b into c. So this is a expression, that is an arithmetic expression, because it is having only arithmetic operators. So similarly here, if I am taking a expression with only logical operators, that is a, ampersand and b or c, so then it is a logical expression. So similarly here for the relational operators, so I am taking the statement here, 2 greater than 4 less than 5. So here it is a relational expression which is having only relational operators. Okay, so an expression is nothing but a formula, so which is having the operands and its the set of operands and the operators. Okay, so this is about the operators and expressions in C, in the C programming language. So thanks for watching my video. Thank you.